Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast Over the Wall. My name is Fabian Lopez,
My name is Daniel Nguyen.
I'm Trina Win.
and we're going to be talking about the topic of assimilation in terms of
Wow.
natives. And we're going to be talking about more or less, the contrast of the hard reality of the lives of natives. We like to introduce how insufferable it was for disease.
So, Tree, what do you have to say about that?
Well, personally, oh sorry.
But there's like a lot of diseases back in like the 1900s, right? And like the 20th century. I feel like that took like a toll on boarding schools. And especially with like the medicine scene back there, it wasn't up to par. So like a lot of native children caught like diseases like smallpox and like influenza really easily. So I guess that could have been like a major problem.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of the budget, I don't think these schools didn't get like much money from the government.
Yeah, it
You
was
can
like,
see why.
yeah.
Another thing is that these diseases killed a lot of people back in time, And I'm not sure which diseases, but like specifically. But yeah, do you guys know any diseases specifically?
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
smallpox, like influenza. It was like just like the major like diseases back then.
Yeah.
I still remember them. Back to like the funding part of the government, I think that was also like a problem. So, sure, it was like funded by the government and everything, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't like their first priority. So like they didn't really care about it that much.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And even so, with the disease, you know how much the natives changed from the assimilation, especially since you look like the photo comparison of their native selves into like a more American civilized person, which is kind of crazy.
It is.
And the fact is that the natives were kind of forced to do that, since it's their only way of having an opportunity to protect their land.
Yeah.
I was like reading an article about that, and like how a lot of children were like questioning their identity when they went to like boarding schools, because like they didn't know if like their native way was correct, or like if the teachings like the white men thought that was like correct, which I found interesting.
Yeah, and also the fact that that when they have to go to these boarding schools, they never really came in contact with their family, so maybe the reason why it builds up a lot about what's right or wrong of the journey.
Like they don't know,
Yeah, exactly.
And just the whole thing, just these people are treated pretty unfairly, kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, it is definitely.
Yeah.
Especially for like such a minority compared to most other minorities.
Yeah. I can't imagine like how their parents felt, like having their like children just taken away from them.
Well, I mean, it's not like they had a choice.
I mean, they didn't have a choice, but like, just imagine that though. I feel like that must have brought a lot of suffering into their people.
Yeah, even so, they went through the suffering, and they still hold the culture. Is the reason why natives are still fighting politically. And now why is all this stuff we're trying to hog over solve, especially in terms of laws.
They're really strong-minded people.
Exactly. They definitely have my respect in my book.
Yeah, I don't think I could be in that situation.
Exactly.
I can't imagine myself in that situation.
Yeah, especially during the lectures, learning about more or less natives, how they have to go through. It's like,
Yeah.
damn. I don't know about. Not saying Black lives don't matter, but like, damn, they should have more light on them for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like the media doesn't really pay enough attention into like Native Americans, like for activists and like just protests.
Well,
it's like ashamed. Like no one.
They do have their own type of protests, but I don't think it's as big as other protests.
It's not really like spread in media a lot.
Yeah. Even though this is
Yeah, it's such a
really,
big topic.
yeah,
And it's been here even longer than like
Just everything
longer
else.
than any other protest.
yeah.
Exactly.
And
And
do we have any?
the whole thing about how things change really says a lot about the natives' power to really demonstrate how much they have throughout history, and the fact that now there's still much to fight for.